Okay, let's talk about the last of the bonds, the hydrogen bonds. Now, most of you remember when you were in chemistry in high school that hydrogen can only form one bond, and that is true in a good number of our atoms and molecules. Because hydrogen has only one valence electron, it will form one bond. And we will talk about bonding potential here in another video. But because it has that one valence electron, it generally will form only one bond. But when we talk about hydrogen bonds, these are formed with hydrogens from polar covalent bonds. Remember, when I talked about the polar covalent bonds, we said that because the electrons are shared unequally, the atoms within that molecule are going to have partial positive and partial negative charges. It's that partial charge that allows hydrogen to form two bonds. So let's go use the example that I used in polar covalent bonds with water. We have our oxygen here, and oxygen is in row 2, column 6. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 valence electrons, and then we have our 2 in row 1. You can see here we have 2 unpaired electrons, and so in order to fill that orbital, oxygen is going to share those valence electrons with something like hydrogen. And we have our polar covalent bonds here, which give our hydrogen their partial positive charge, and the oxygen its partial negative charge. So if I come over here and I make another water molecule, let's give my oxygen, and I have my 2 in my first orbital, and my 6 in my valence orbital, and then I finish that off by binding to hydrogen. And now the hydrogen and the oxygen both have filled valence electrons. However, oops, I'm sorry, it should be a negative charge. And however, they have that partial charge. Because we have a partial positive charge here on this hydrogen and a partial negative charge here on this oxygen, the hydrogen of one water molecule will be attracted to the oxygen of another water molecule, and we will form hydrogen bonds between the two water molecules, holding them together. Now, these bonds are extremely easily broken, even with just a tiny bit of energy, and they will come apart. So these, again, are the weakest of the bonds that we will be talking about in this class. In the next video, I will talk about bonding potential, and it will allow you to understand how many bonds a particular atom will make based on their valence electrons.